Look, I think this is a really bad idea. No one wants to pay the ransom. No one does it because this is great for them. But the reality is sometimes you have no choice. Look at the Colonial Pipeline incident. If it had taken them months to recover on their own without paying ransom, would we have wanted to wait and not allow them to pay? I think banning ransom payments just further re-victimizes the victim. And what we need to do is focus on the perpetrators and make sure that the payments themselves are traceable so that we can identify these people and prosecute them. That's where our attention needs to be.
Michael, do companies really have no choice here? I mean, we've heard stories of companies or cities that chose not to pay, but then ended up with fixes that cost them multiples of what the ransomware might have required, the ransom payments would have required. What do you think?
Well, sometimes companies do have other options. Sometimes it turns out that the ransomware perpetrators used a form of ransomware for which there's a code that's known. There's a group called No More Ransom that keeps decryption keys that you can always try. And in other cases, some of the victims' companies have set themselves up with backups and other structures that do enable them to recover more quickly. So in some cases, there are options. In other cases, there are not.
So Michael, let's delve a little farther into where you come down on this. So you say, yes, there may be alternatives to paying the ransom, for one, but then the other leap here is to outlaw paying the ransom. Do you favor that? And if you do, under what circumstances or nuances would you favor that?
Well, I do support that as a long-term policy goal, but I actually agree with Dimitri that, like, to just tomorrow flip the switch and say that ransomware payments are banned would be really bad policy. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to be put in place to enable the government to enable and support companies so they're not put in that position where they have to feel like they have no choice but to pay the ransom. And so I would say that that's a policy goal that we should set, and we should also do those things that Dimitri mentioned. We should be aggressively going after the ransomware perpetrators. We should be working to bring the cryptocurrency markets much more into alignment with the greater global financial system so that we can trace the payments and track down those responsible for this ransomware. So there's a lot of work between here and being able to ban payment.
So Dimitri, react to what Michael just said. He said as a short-term thing, banning ransomware banning the payment of ransom to the ransomware people would be bad policy, but in the long run, you've got to take away the incentive for those ransomware people to attack a company. But in the meantime, companies, institutions, medical systems, hospitals, they could be frozen in place, and it's not too much of a stretch to say lives could be lost.
Absolutely right. This has become a huge epidemic. It is one of the top national security issues that we face right now. And look, we've been through this debate before in another arena with kidnappings, and the U.S. government has had a policy for decades that families should not pay ransom to get their loved ones back. But of course, it was not practical because people wanted to save their loved ones. They wanted to save their family members, and no one is going to prosecute them for paying a ransom. We're facing the same situation now where if you're a hospital and you can't do life-saving surgeries, of course you're going to pay the ransom if that's the fastest way for you to recover and save lives. We can't re-victimize those people. We have to let them do what they need to do to get back up and running. We shouldn't encourage it. We should tell them that, of course, pursue all other options before you pay the ransom. But sometimes you'll have no choice. And we need to aggressively go after the cyber criminals. I agree with Michael. We need to start tracing the cryptocurrencies so that we can identify these people and create some deterrent here.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.